ahead and share the link. It's in the chat, the Zoom link. We have a very special guest with us tonight. We are always here to deliver excellence every Thursday, hosted by yours truly, the Power of Consent Book Club, weekly discussed books. And you know what, family? I just feel like I'm in that Thursday feeling, that vibe, you know? Yeah, that's me. That's me right there, you know? My ice cream cone and my book in my left hand, just jamming. It's that Thursday feeling. Listen, family, if you're feeling up or you want to get up, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you got that Thursday feeling. We're planning to bring that Thursday feeling to you every Thursday. I know tomorrow's bank holiday, isn't it? The banks are on holiday, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a public holiday, it's a bank holiday, money holiday, commerce. You know, we go into that over here. And I just want to say, look, it's so important that we grab that feeling because you know what? Here's a saying that Andrew, the investigator, told us, and that is your gratitude, attitude determines your life altitude. Altitude. Everyone knows what the word altitude means. Your gratitude, attitude determines your life altitude. Yeah. So depending upon our attitude and our gratitude, it will determine how high we go. The altitude of the plane goes high to fly. You get me? So that's what we need to do. Be thankful for what we got, ladies and gentlemen. Be thankful for what we got, big or small. Come on, let's rock and roll. Let's do this. All right. So, just a quick legal disclaimer. This platform does not provide legal advice. All information shared is for educational purposes only. If you need legal guidance regarding your personal situation, please seek assistance from a qualified professional, such as a solicitor or your local Citizens Advice Bureau. We cannot take responsibility. Just getting more people in the room, people. We cannot take responsibility for how you choose to use the information provided. And that goes for all of our guests that come on here. Not all necessarily solicitors or legal professional advisors, but they will be given information and knowledge and advice nonetheless in their chosen fields. Okay, family. Yes, more people coming in the space. All right. So we've been reading the book, The Only Living Trusts Book You'll Ever Need by Garriet Morgan. And also we're looking to get into a book called Millionaire Success Habits. Yeah, the gateway to wealth and prosperity. That's what we're looking to see. This is book club. We go into all kinds of books. And if you got a good suggestion for a book, then please let us know. Let us know. But we're currently delving into this book and we will finish this book next Thursday. Obviously not the totality of it, but the essential parts of it. And then we're going to move on to Millionaire Success Habits. It's a habit to be a millionaire. And one of the habits of being a millionaire is having a trust, having a lasting power of attorney, having a will. Yeah. These things are what millionaires and billionaires do. We got to copy what the successful do. It's essential. Okay. So yes, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you missed out on last Thursday's book club, you will find it on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel. The Power of Consent is in the chat for the link for the YouTube, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, share, and watch all the videos and catch up on what you have missed out. We had Charmaine Simpson going into trusts last week with Samina. It was
the Power of Consent.
Right. Go ahead, follow, like, subscribe.
The Power of Consent. The Power of Consent.
That's who we be. That's who we are. So go ahead, follow, like, and subscribe.
This book called Becoming Supernatural, and it talks about gratitude being the highest vibration. And the two things that people suffer from, their past and their imagination.
The what ifs.
Right.
I see that.
And it keeps them from living in the now. That's why they call.
Let me pull that up. Did you hear what the brother said? This is coming from a book he read called Becoming Supernatural. These are the kind of books we read in book club. I'm just going to pull that up. Listen very, very carefully before we bring our guest on for this evening. Listen to what this brother's saying very carefully.
A book called Becoming Supernatural, and it talks about gratitude being the highest vibration. And the two things that people suffer from, their past and their imagination.
Gratitude being the highest what? Vibration. Family, we have so much to give thanks for, man. Man, if you got hair on your head, you got teeth in your mouth, yeah, if you got life, you've got sight, you got hearing, if you're able to walk, if you've got mental capacity, if you've got a roof over your head, a bed to sleep on, you might not have the millions yet, but do you have life? Yeah. And once we walk in that frequency of gratitude, more blessings will come, family. More blessings will come. Seriously.
Their past and their imagination.
Their
past and their imagination.
Past and the imagination of the past can hold us down. The past is the past, family. It's the present that we must start living in. We must start living in the present.
The two things that people suffer from, their past and their imagination.
The what ifs.
Right.
I see that.
And it keeps them from living in the now. That's why they call the now the present, because it's a gift.
That's good.
So if you understand how important this moment is, like you're not gonna, we don't know what the next moment is going to bring. So I'm reading.
So there it is, man. Gratitude, attitude.
The power of
Shout out to Graeme Fhilmore, our guest tonight, is in the space. Yeah. Shout out to you. We are grateful for you. We are grateful that we have guests like you on the platform. Give us a game. Right. So family, go ahead and donate. If you feel grateful, go ahead and donate to the Power of Consent. We are not a government funded body. We are self-funded at the moment. We have our constituted group, community group, which is the Power of Consent. So all of your donations and proceedings we receive gratefully. Go ahead and take a screenshot. We're challenging everyone now. Just £1 a week. Just £1 in my lovely Irish accent. Shout out to my Irish family. £1 a week. We spend more on Netflix. We spend more on Amazon. We spend more on things that we don't even think about it. Why not donate to a cause of uplifting yourself? I mean, what the brother Graeme Fhilmore is coming to discuss tonight, people pay hundreds of pounds for consultation. Family, we're bringing people like Charmaine Simpson and so many others on here to really give us game, to give us that millionaire mindset that we can inherit and pass on to our children. So don't be bashful, don't be niggardly. Go ahead, donate £1 or whatever you can, more than £1 if you like. Let's show gratitude today, family. Come on, let's do this. Let's support each other. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll give you all some time to go ahead, make that donation. There it is. There it is. Moving on. Okay. And as I said, just £1 a week. £1 a week. We're not even charging a membership as of yet. That's all coming. But for now, we just appreciate your donations. And we are so thankful. And we thank you all. For those of you that have donated towards the Power of Consent, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We thank you, and we are grateful. Okay, moving on now. So I know we got our special guest in the building, but before we bring him on, I just want to introduce you all. First and foremost, who's here for the first time? Who is here for the first time? Put a 1 in the chat. Who's here for the first time? Don't forget to follow our YouTube page, The Power of Consent. The link is in the chat. But who is here for the first time? Please put a 1 in the chat. Share the link, Zoom link, to your family, your friends, your mothers and your fathers, your family. Come on now, let's do it. But let's have a look at what is to come at The Power of Consent before we bring on our guest. All right. It's buffering. So before it plays, ladies and gentlemen, we have a council tax webinar coming up. And I wanted to show you a quick AI video. Oh, here it is.
Council tax, the burden we bear, increasing by 15% with little care. No contract, no obligation we signed, yet we're expected to pay. It's just hard to find. Vital evidence they claim to hold, proving council tax is a must, we're told. But where is the proof, we ask? That leaves us in a difficult task. No lawful claim to make you pay is what some people try to say. But without evidence to back their claim, their argument lacks substance and aim. So we pay the tax, as we must, for services we rely on and trust, and hope that one day we will see the evidence that sets us, you and me, free.
All right, that's our council tax course coming up. Our live webinar on council tax. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be the 26th of April, 4 p.m. on a Sunday. You don't want to miss out on this. I know many of you have received your annual council tax bill. Many of you are paying hundreds of pounds per month. Many of you are struggling and you're stressed, and I even have received news of people harming themselves because of the cost of living going up. This is why it's so important that we must have and gain financial acumen. Family, we have to, especially my community, my Black community, we've got to get that, you know, we've got to get financial acumen. To the wider human family, we've got to get financial acumen, because today we're still living in a slavery type system. So come on and get some knowledge. I have success stories of people whom we have helped with council tax, lawfully, by the way. We never tell people to stop paying. We tell people you can challenge. So learn how to challenge council tax with the power of consent on the 26th of April. Go and register now by going to thepowerofconsent@gmail.com. That is thepowerofconsent@gmail.com to come and witness how you can overcome the claim of council tax. Yes, family. And also, we got some tours coming up. I see Graeme on the screen, on camera. Shout out to you, Graeme.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We're going to bring you in very shortly. So we, family, have a Power of Consent City of London tour coming up for the summer. Yes, you know the City of London. Is it a part of London? There's so many beautiful museums, artifacts, assets in trusts that are in museums in the City of London. Did you know, and I know some of you know, that the City of London is not actually London? It is a separate state, just like the Vatican, just like Washington, D.C., United States of America. So you want to come and join us on the City of London tours and learn more about the City of London. Learn more about why they have a different police constabulary. Learn more about why they have what's called the Guildhall, which is the equivalent of Westminster House of Parliament. We're going to be doing a tour this summer, family, and we want you to join us. We've already started doing a tour already. Shout out to my friend Obi, and that is in South London. So we're going to officially start the City of London tours for this summer. So go ahead, powerofconsent@gmail.com to learn more about our tour in the City of London. And also coming soon,
How was he? 10 hours straight. He's a machine.
What's going on here? Real quick. We like to have fun with films and look at movies and see how they relate to real life. This character is called who? What's the name of the character of this film? Not the actor, the character. What's happening right here? He is loading up different programs to his mind so he can know Kung fu, so he can fight in the system, so he can fight in the matrix. Put it in the chat if you know the character's name.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me. This is a sparring program, similar to the programmed reality of the Matrix.
It has the same basic rules, rules like gravity. What you must learn is that these rules are no different than the rules of a computer system. Some of them can be bent, others can be broken.
Some can be bent, others can be broken. Family, we're going to be doing a matrix breakdown as well very soon. So email us if you're interested in the matrix breakdown and the tours and the future webinars at thepowerofconsent@gmail.com. This scene alone is so deep. Morpheus, the Greek god of dreams, in black. Why black? Because black represents mastership. You have a black belt in a karate system. Neo is in a white gi, which represents he's a beginner. There's a lot of science in this film that correlates to a lot of what we are learning about natural law and a lot about that which Graeme is going to be showing us tonight. So we're going to have fun with this. Come to the breakdown. I will announce that very soon, as well as the council tax one will be on 26th of April. So there's a lot of things to come. Oh, yes, that's our email. So family, that's our email if you want to register, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, if you want to become a fully fledged member to get access to all of our recordings on our private platform, because we are private. That's the power of consent. Okay. Now, these are the books we've been reading. We haven't actually gone into the book on the right yet, but we will continue these next Thursday, next strong, not next week, because we're not weak, but next strong. So here we have our illustrious guest for the evening. His name is Graeme Fhilmore, helping you to help your family with wills, trusts, lasting power of attorney, and estate administration. So we have Graeme with us tonight at the Power of Consent, and we are so happy. And family, he's offering this service. You can go ahead right now and scan this barcode, this QR code, excuse me. You can scan this QR code, or you can contact him via the number on screen or the email. And talks, not pitches, let's chat. He's available. He's based in South London, and he's with us tonight here at the Power of Consent. And I want all of us to put a 1 in the chat for Graeme, who's joining us tonight, who's going to be giving us some game about lasting powers of attorney and trusts and all of the above. So please put some 1s in the chat for Graeme, please, from the Power of Consent to you. We are grateful to you, sir. Thank you, brother. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Here we go. All right then. Okie dokie. So hopefully you can see my screen there properly. Okay. So, good evening, everybody. I am Graeme Fhilmore. I work for a company called Squiggle Consult. It's not my company. It wasn't founded by me. It was founded a few years ago, but a very, very good company based in Ashford in Kent, not too far away. And I'm just going to talk to you today about what I do, help to explain a few things as well that our host was talking about there with wills and trusts, and also finish up on powers of attorney and also estate administration. So quite a bit of stuff to go through tonight. I will try and keep it as light. I'll try and keep it as easy for you to understand as possible. You'll learn quite a bit about me as I go through, but you'll understand that I like to talk to people about themselves. I'm not really into talking loads of techie stuff and bits and pieces like that. I like to really just talk about themselves and put things over in good, easy terms that people can understand. I watched the video last week that you had together with the two lovely ladies who are doing the presentations on trusts, etc. Fantastic stuff, quite high level, I thought. Lots of detailed questions there. Now, if you want to throw detailed questions at me, by all means do so. I'm not an absolute total expert on these things. I know how it works. I know quite a few things, but if I don't know the answer, I won't mess you about and say things that are not true. I will write it down and I will come back to you if you can come back to me with some details. So that's really what I'm about tonight, and just sort of explain that. I've got a few slides to go through, so I would like to do that, and a couple of videos as well in between, so to kind of keep you interested, all relevant and related. But as I say, if you've got your questions, then please put them in the chat. Our host will obviously look after those as well, and then we'll do a full Q&A session at the end. Okay, I hope that's all right with you all. So let me talk a little bit about myself. I'll explain who I am and what I do. Okay, well, I'm living in Croydon. I've been here for over 30 years. I wasn't born here. I was born in other parts of Surrey, but I've always lived in the south of England my time. That's my lovely wife, Teresa. I've been married for 28 years. We no children. We love doing things together. We love doing traveling. We enjoy visiting sort of far off places. Been some fantastic places. Far away as Singapore. We went a few years ago. But otherwise, we travel around Europe. We've got a few holidays planned this year as well. Beautiful. We enjoy sort of socializing with our friends. We've got very small families. Hers is bigger than mine. Teresa's family comes from Guyana. So I'm into the sort of Caribbean things. Well, I do like that and enjoy the food too. Now, Teresa, if you can see that photograph there, works in a very interesting place. That's where we were. You can see it's at Christmas time. So I say that was before we went into Boris's party. We didn't go to Boris's party, and she wasn't working there at the time anyway, but that's exactly where she works. Can't say exactly what she does, but she has an administrative role, not a political role. She has an administrative role, and she looks after some diaries for people as well. So interesting stuff. My family, as I say, is very, very small. I was married, say, in 1998. Lost my parents, both of them now. As my mum in that photograph there with my wife and my sister-in-law, and also my niece as well. My nieces are lovely. I've got a couple of nieces as well. One's 23. She lives in over here now, but she was living in Spain. And the other one's she's now 12. She lives in America with her mum. And again, the little photograph in the corner, don't try and screw your face up to see it, but it's my family all together, but it's very small. We've got a few cousins, and I've got one brother, and he's got no children either. So quite a small family. So apart from doing wills and trusts, what else do I like to do? Well, I've been in the business a long time and also like to do this. So these are some of my treasures. I call them my girlfriends. My wife laughs at that. And these are some of my wedding cars. And I run a wedding car business called Morse Wedding Cars. I've been doing that for about 30 years now. Just under 30 years. I've got some nice classic cars based in Croydon, so we do weddings, and we like to use British classic cars because they're great, you know, they're wonderful things. We don't like modern cars specifically, we like old stuff. And we have some lovely clients, and we've been working, say, for good some time. It's great. I love doing that. That's what keeps me busy when I'm not doing what I do with Squiggle. So who are Squiggle? Okay, might be a strange thing. I'll talk about the name in a minute, but I'll tell you a little bit more about us. Okay. We are a consulting company. We're UK based, based in Ashford, as I mentioned. We were set up just under 10 years ago by a lovely man called Kieran Osborne. Very, very nice guy. He's recently become a father as well for the first time. So his priorities are changing at the moment. But we've got about 25 staff in the place. We are legally trained and qualified. I am not a solicitor. We have solicitors who work for us. I'm not a solicitor. We have paralegals as well. And also we have external team of barristers who do our trusts and things like that. Well, we write wills, we set up trusts, we do lasting powers of attorney, which I'm going to talk about all of these things this evening. We also talk about probate as well, which is not a particularly pleasant area, but I will tell you a bit about that, explain about how it works. And we do general estate and legacy planning advice. And it is advice. We give people advice. I come from an educational background, and I very much believe that people should understand something, and people won't take something up, people won't go into something they don't fully understand. I know I wouldn't, so I would never expect anyone else to do that. So that's why I spend the time to explain things. And if someone doesn't understand, I'll just explain it a different way. I'll show you videos, I'll draw you diagrams, I'll talk about little stories, for example, and it helps to understand, people to understand what we're talking about. So let me tell you a bit about Squiggle. That's our team. That was about a year ago. It's grown since then. One or two people have gone, and we've got a few extra people as well. And the question that everybody asks is, and I did as well, well, great, but why the name Squiggle? And there is a story behind it, but my founder, the guy sitting on the right-hand side there, that photograph, he says, because we're different, and we are genuinely different. The way the name Squiggle came about was because at the time Kieran had two little nieces and nephews who are the children of one of the ladies in this particular photograph here, his sister, and he was around there for Sunday lunch one time, and they said, "Oh, what's the squiggle thing? What's it all about?" And the kids were just playing in their colouring books, and he said, "And what's that?" And he said, "That's my squiggle." And they said, "Ah, right, okay, that's squiggle then." So that's where the name came from. So that's how it works. So what do we offer? Okay, I'm going to walk you through some of these here. We'll talk about them in a bit more detail so you understand how they work. And also, as I say, we'll go into a little bit more of information to understand it for you. And so any questions, please write them down, put them into the chat. I won't look at them just yet until we get to the end. Our host is going to sort of farm them out there, and then we can go into some questions as well. Now, just to remind you, I'm not a solicitor. I'm not a subject expert either. I understand how this works and what we talk about. I understand it very well. But as I say, anything we can help you with, I don't know the answer to. I'm going to make a note of it here with my pen on the side here, and I will come back to you. Okay, so the generic thing we do is called estate planning. It's like an umbrella. What does it do? Well, it covers a number of things, and I'm going to cover these for you this evening. The first obvious thing are wills, okay? I think we probably know what a will is. Most of us have read a will. Some of us probably have a will as well. But even if you wrote your will maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, things can change. And a lot of people, I look at their wills who wrote them even fairly recently, maybe in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, and realize that they weren't really given extremely good advice for what they could be doing. Now, one of the things that's often missing in those wills is one of these: a will trust, or also possibly a lifetime trust. Now, I know the speakers last week were talking about those, Charmaine, I think, and Simone. They were talking around those subjects there, but I want to explain it to you so you understand how it is and whether these things might suit you. I'm more than happy to have a conversation later and we can talk around that, but they are different: will trusts and lifetime trusts. So we'll talk around those. I'll also talk about the important power of attorney. I know that's an important thing for a lot of you guys. You want to know about power of attorney, how it works, what do you do about it, what happens if you haven't got one. So again, I'll walk you through that too. Some interesting stories there, some videos to show you as well. And I'll also talk about estate administration and probate. Not the most interesting thing, I know, it's what happens after someone's passed away, but it is really important because you can get a professional like us to do it if you want to. You can attempt it yourself, but unfortunately, the people you're dealing with are the revenue, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, and they are ruthless people. If you don't get it right, they can really, really jump all over you. So, as I say, we can help with that, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. Okay, good. So, question for you here. I was working out if I could do a poll, but I can't see that. But I'm going to ask a question. How many people do you think in the UK over the age of 50 do not have a will? All right. Do you think it's sort of, 30%? Do you think it's 25%? Do you think it's 40%? I don't know. Okay, you can think about it for yourselves for a moment, but I'm going to put the answer up for you here. Okay, this is according to the Money Advice Service. All right, and the answer is, as of a year ago, 53% of adults in the UK over the age of 50, but under the age of 64, did not have a will. Now, that is incredible. I couldn't believe that when I saw it either. It's an amazing factor, and it's quite scary when you think about it too. So that's why I'm looking at this and thinking it's a bit of a scary thing. Now, when you start looking at sort of older people, we find out that 22% of those aged over 65 do not have a will either. Now, that's, again, quite a scary situation. The chances of you needing a will, of course, will increase with age, of course they do, but younger people die as well. We all know people who've died, quite young in their years, and for a variety of reasons. It's awful situations. So just wanted to make sure that people are aware of this. So let's talk around some of the things. Now, please, I don't want to patronize anybody, sort of like you're not spoon feeding anybody, teaching granny to suck eggs, etc. But I just want to explain some of the things that people don't understand. The first thing is, what is a will? Well, it's a really, really simple document. The legislation for wills goes back to the 19th century as well, and it hasn't really changed an awful lot. We still can't sign wills electronically, believe it or not. You can sign a finance document, you can almost sign a mortgage as well electronically, but you cannot sign a will. It has to be done with one of these, yeah? A pen, really detailed bit of equipment, but it's so simple to do. So what does it do? Okay, it explains who you are and it names someone called an executor. I think this was covered last week in some detail, but an executor is purely somebody or some people who can look after your affairs when you die. And that's a necessity. You really do need to have somebody to take care of things and sort out all your affairs before when you pass away. It also, of course, names the people you want to inherit. So who's going to get your money at the end of the day? So who is and also who's not going to get your money as well, also can be included there too. It appoints a guardian for your dependents, and you might think, oh, my kids are over 18. Well, yeah, they may be over 18, but perhaps they've got special needs issues or vulnerabilities. So you really do need to understand that someone there potentially is going to be their guardian or someone's going to look after them in that period of time. And that's where trusts come in a lot. And then after probate, the assets are distributed. So the way that works is when someone's passed away, obviously death certificates are organized and the funeral, etc., and then the probate process will often start, and that's assessing somebody's assets, what they were worth, what income they had, what money was in the bank, etc., how much they were owing, even down to what they're owing on the electric bill. All of those things need to be worked out, and then basically what were they worth on the day they died. It's quite a clinical process, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, when people sort of get an inheritance that happens, it feels a bit like sort of sitting in a very, very deep bath. Imagine those deep baths like that, right up to your chin there. Great, you're sitting in the bath there. The probate process goes on. That can take years sometimes, but hopefully it happens relatively quickly. And then suddenly, whoosh, the water flows into the bath. Great, you think, splash, 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 love it. Really, really good. Happy to receive that down there. But things can happen. So I'm going to show you a little video now, only very short, little stick people in it and some audio there, just to explain one of the things that can happen. This is called mirror planning. This is for a couple who often make a will thinking that, I leave it to you, you leave it to me, we leave it to the kids. Things can go wrong, and this is what can go wrong. Let me show you this.
Mirror planning. Couples get inheritance following the death of a spouse. Here we see a married couple with joint assets who plan to leave everything to each other in the first instance and then to their joint beneficiaries. They make mirror wills so that when one of them passes away, all their assets remain with the surviving spouse. If the surviving spouse was to remarry, her will would be revoked and her assets would be shared with the new partner. In addition, should the spouse's new partner have children, the original beneficiary's inheritance would be diluted, as the new partner's heirs will now be included. Furthermore, if the new partner survives the longest, the original beneficiaries could be completely disinherited. Would you want to protect against this eventuality?
So that is a concept called sideways disinheritance, where the assets that you want to leave to somebody and you expect to leave to somebody, unfortunately end up going in a completely different direction. And that happens quite regularly, quite frequently. Even if it hasn't happened in your family, and pray to God that it doesn't, most people know someone whose parents, for example, one's passed away, one remarries somebody with children, they give their house over, they give their assets over, etc. And then suddenly all the assets that they think they were going to potentially inherit ends up going in a different direction. Yeah, happens an awful lot, and it's not a good situation to be in. So that's really what we're talking about. So one way that you can avoid that with this bath I talked about before is to put a tank. Now that bath, that situation I talked about with the bath, that's sideways disinheritance. That's like somebody jumping in the bath with you. yeah, which you don't really want to have. So to avoid that, and there are many other things it can avoid as well, is have what's called a discretionary or a will trust, right? So what does that mean? Well, what it helps to do is direct where your inheritance will go without interference. So it makes sure that your plans that you made will go the direction that you intended all along, even though you're no longer here. It also very privately divides the assets up and into proportions known only to the executor. So you might, for example, choose to give a greater bequest to one of your children, not the other. Okay, don't recommend that because it can cause problems, but again, that will not be ever seen in a will, because a will after probate is public knowledge. You can see it, but it does mean that with a trust, you can then decide how it's going to go. But also you can allow for people, for example, like your grandchildren or your siblings or your cousins, etc. You can put all those into there as well. And again, all that the will show is that their name is mentioned, but not what amounts they have. If you want to see an example of that, look on